All right. So thanks to Dr. Crick for agreeing to talk with us on another
Sure.
video. All right. So what I want to know this time is, can emotional labor be managed?
Okay. Yes, emotional labor can certainly be managed. In fact, organizations have what we call an emotional front, which is the what they say to the world about emotions that they will give, that they will display. And you may not, now that I say to you, you're going to see it, a lot of it, but you don't realize how many promises organizations make about the way that their employees are going to respond emotionally. So, for example, there's a case, not a case study, there's something I use in my class when I'm teaching from FDR, the resort, and they have vacation nannies. And they have a whole long spiel about what the vacation nannies do. So I use it, I just read it to my students and then say, where is emotional labor in it? And they promise that they're happy to do this for you, and they really will genuinely care for your children and those sorts of things. And organizations do this all the time. They you know, you'll be greeted with a warm welcome, as I mentioned in a previous one, and so on, or genuine care, those kind of things. So having said that, then you must manage it, right?
Okay.
So you can't leave it to chance that this will happen. So actually, that was a lot of what Hushel's work was in her book. How do you manage this for flight attendants? So first of all, you go through a careful selection process to make sure that individuals are able to display what it is that you want them to display in terms of the requisite emotions, right? Some organizations are very vague with it, like Nordstrom says we hire nice people. So that's as vague as you could possibly be. But their point, and other organizations say we hire the personality or the attitude. I think Sandal says we hire the smile, and then we train the skill. So essentially, all of them are saying we are hiring this set of emotions, and then they're saying secondly, we can train the skill after, because we want you to be a salesperson like at Nordstrom. We can teach you to sell, but the idea is we can't teach you to have emotions, because personality is relatively stable. So that's the first thing you do, manage it that way. And then organizations typically train the heck out of you, the ones that are serious about it, to do the right, to display the right for them type of emotions. So some do it very, very, very deliberately. If you think about insurance agents, when they come to you, they're quite scripted, but they're also taught to hide the script. Could I say, and you make up a word, scriptedness? So
They deliver it.
they're delivering, they're acting. Yeah. So they would, they will say like, so Anne, have you thought about what would happen to Jenny and Carol, if something should happen, and they do it very smoothly, and there's a chit chat and so on, but they're generally taught to do that. They're taught how to respond if you push back a particular way and so on. So all of that is, so they're specifically trained in how to do that. McDonald's people might be trained, smile and make eye contact. Some organizations carry it to almost what some people might consider the extreme, like at Ritz-Carlton, once you're within X feet of a guest, you must make eye contact, right? So I always envision somebody whipping out a yardstick and, 3 feet, hi! But the idea is that you actually manage the emotions that you want people to display in order for them to do a great job of it.
I was wondering, while you were talking, I was thinking of JMB and their vision of love.
Yes.
How would that play out?
So GMB is very deliberate about it. First of all, they use psychometric testing. Now, many organizations use psychometric testing only for the top echelons, which is very short-sighted, because who's actually interacting with the clients, but they use it if it's a gardener, because they recognize that everybody represents the brand. And that's the other things that many good organizations realize. So don't say we only want X people to be trained, because you really do need everybody. So first of all, everybody does psychometric testing, and they're very clear on you might be brilliant, but if you're not a fit with our culture, which is, as you mentioned, about love, then we're not going to hire you. Then they put them through a socialization process, which really drills you in the essence of the brand. Now, lots of organizations do this, the great ones like Disney does that as well, and so on. And some people will think, okay, this is indoctrination and so on. But if you want people to really represent your brand, then they must understand what your brand is emotionally. Then otherwise it will be all over the place, which it kind of is in Jamaica, that, you know, you go in and you get a really warm greeting from somebody and then you get a mediocre, may I help? You know, I say the words, but I could care less. So you really want to instill in them. So again, the great organizations try to create a passion about that delivery. So JMB spends a lot of time telling people about who Joan Duncan, the founder, was, and why she believes so passionately a full day is dedicated to culture. Disney would do the same thing, and as I said, maybe most organizations wouldn't do a full day, but they do spend some time, so that you're not just saying, okay, this is what they want me to say and feel, but I am saying and feeling it because, and that's because of the story, the founder, the values, everything.
Yes, in fact, I remember this book from the 80s, In Search of Excellence.
Yes,
and
yeah,
those
Peters
Passion
and
for
Waterman,
Yes,
right,
those
right.
books. Those books actually spoke a lot about those sorts of things, you know. I remember one guy talking about the Bill and Dave, the Procter and Gamble,
Yeah.
the Bill and Dave stories and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So yes, you're right. It is, and actually it would help the people, because we were talking about somebody have a natural affinity
Right,
for
right.
the emotions that the organization wants
Exactly.
to feel. That those people, and I suppose that's what the psychometric tests that Jim and
Yeah.
are looking for, a natural affinity
So-
to what they want.
So, you know, sometimes I explain it this way. If you sew, or if you're a butcher or something, you know that you want to cut with the grain.
Yes.
Because once you cut against the grain, you're going to get undesirable results.
Yes.
So instead of hiring somebody who might be a brilliant IT person, but they don't really have the soft skills that you want, and then saying, remember to smile, remember your voice doesn't sound perky enough, that's wearing for the person. So why not hire somebody who naturally has that? Now, everybody's going to have a down day and off day and so on, but somebody who starts at that, you have a great advantage.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. All right, so thanks, Doc. We'll
Okay.
end this discussion here.